Krupp increases construction speed for synthetics, and we were considering doing that. Also increases infrastructure in civilian factories. I'm wondering, if we get Alfred Krupp, whether we should then start getting some more civilian factories going. Has the USSR another focus tree in black ice? Yeah, all the majors will. When has printing money ever been bad for the German government? Well, ever since they started printing money, I know that wheelbarrow spending went up quite significantly. Now, what I think I'm going to do is reduce your construction to 1 each of those, and then we will consider getting more civilian factories, because they are now getting cheaper. And the more civilian factories we have, the more of everything else we can build. Although, we are now getting dangerously low on fuel, so I think it's now time for us to actually go ahead and buy a little bit. Is there anyone friendlier? Oh yeah, Argentina. Oh man, Argentina actually has a fair amount of oil. If we get a second agent, we may well send them to Argentina to try and bolster Argentinian friendliness towards us. Okay, quality control is done. So now all of these open up. We have ahead of time penalty reductions on these two. Resource penalty, consumer goods goes down. I mean, that one's just a straight up buff. Production efficiency growth 20% higher. So we're going to get the straight buff, which is Freon refrigeration for sure. And that one's still a little bit too far ahead of time, so I think we'll continue on these. We could start working on either concentrated or dispersed industry. Although, I don't... This doesn't... Oh, it does. And yeah, this one allows more factories in the States. We have very urban cities. We can get a lot of factories going. I mean, honestly, that production efficiency buff is so high. I don't think we can afford not to do this. There we go. Volksdeutsch is done. So now we can expand the labour front, which will give us that extra research slot on industry. Also gives us more stability and some more political power. And will lead to the KDF wagon, which will be 3 free civilian factories, which sounds awesome. We need every able mind and body put to work. 40 days. We are still losing fuel, even though we're importing a bunch now. And there we go. Ethiopia has been defeated by Italy at last. Air Force War Games. This will cost air experience. Oh, this just gives a 50% chance of new ace pilots. I think I would rather wait for that one especially. Naval War Games gives us Lutyens and Gunther both gain additional traits. Yeah, I'm going to wait for that. Italy takes Addis Ababa. Ethiopia is Italian, says Mussolini as his troops occupy Addis Ababa. Ethiopia's era of independence, which lasted since the biblical times, ended at 4 o'clock this afternoon after Badoglio led 30,000 men into the capital, planes swarming in the sky. The Italian tricolour was raised. Cheers erupted amongst the soldiers, and a clean-up operation from Addis Ababa was immediately started. In Rome, Mussolini spoke of an enormous crowd in the Piazza Venezia. As throngs gathered around, loudspeakers in every village square in Italy, and the message was clear. The world has got its first taste of Italian military power, and it will not be the last. This is but a glimpse into the future. Okay, so there we go. Combat Engineer Company and also plane upgrades are done. So infantry, let's take a look at those options first. Considering we probably... 36s. Ooh. B-Man, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciate that. Did someone say war bonds? Yes, actually. Yes, I did. Thank you very much for that. Very much appreciate it. Just loading up Streamlabs. Just make sure that was the full message. I'm pretty sure it was. But it's good to have open in the background just in case. Recent events. Cause donations are the one thing that Twitch does not report back on. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, B-Man. Appreciate it. And while we are on the topic of notifications, Pokeapple wants me to drink some tea. Silver Knight gifted a sub to Daril Mandoon. Congratulations, Daril Mandoon, on the gifted sub courtesy of Silver Knight. And then we've got Josh VS coming in with a 15-month resubscription. Thank you very much for the ongoing support there, Josh. Good day, Sire and the Maudlings. Haven't seen this mod yet. How is it? I mean, so far, so good. It's everything I expected. It is ludicrously in depth. And I have a feeling that's only going to get more crazy. Holy Rune, thank you very much for the follow. And Ace Cat, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you joining us here today. Right, 36. Paratroopers would still be the only special thing. Military police. I am still really tempted to get military police with the expectation of conquering other peoples. We can also upgrade our artillery. No, those are ahead of time. Those are 37, so yeah, military police is all I can do. Done! And we also had air tech. And we were going to research CAS. So here's the question. Which type do we want? There's two different types here. So we got the Stuka bomber and then the Heinkel. Huzzah! The Heinkel has better agility. Both of them have identical ground attacks. Heinkel is also faster. And has longer range. But is slightly more expensive. So if we were doing long range or longer range, huzzah! Heinkel would definitely be the thing. And I've just noticed something. Aircraft don't use rubber. Only aluminium. Interesting. Heinkels do have more agility. They have slightly more naval targeting, but I don't think that's going to be important. They also have slightly more air attack, but that's also, I don't think, going to be important. So this is really range. Range versus numbers. And considering we're expecting to fight a war in Germany against France and Poland, where the air zones are titchy, probably Stuka. If we start going after Russia, we probably want to switch to Heinkel. This is going to be making use of the fact you can actually determine precisely what kind of planes you want in an air wing. So it's not just based on classification. You can also say exact specialized air wings. So we may well need to make use of that option. That is a vanilla option, I've just never seen the need for it until now. And now there definitely is a need. A need for speed. And also just cheaper bombs. Okay, so we're going to upgrade to the BF-109B fighters. And we're just going to start churning those out. And we have another factory, which is going to be the 5th factory we can put onto light aircraft? Wait, we only have 2 of 10. Oh! I misunderstood how that worked. So this isn't a limit on the number of factories you can actually have working on a singular category. It is instead a limit on the number of specialist factories you can have, which reduces the cost. So right now we don't actually have very many factories on light aircraft, which means that our light aircraft are quite freaking expensive. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building some more civilian factories. Everywhere where our infrastructure is decent. Because similarly to regular factories, we are limited in how many of these we can build in each province. And then once those are done, we may revisit the number of factories we have elsewhere. Increase the pay rates of our soldiers. Consumer goods factory increase goes up. Ruling Sapati goes up significantly for 90 days. Daily dissension. Oh, okay, that's interesting. They've added a new ideology called dissent. Oh, I really like that. Then I'm guessing there's a bunch of bad events if your dissent gets too high. Oh, that's smart. I like it when there's smart game design like that. That's really smart. But we don't need that. We have no dissent at the moment. Because we stamp it out. In which case, still saving up for my naval war games. Okay, the joint training proposal, our embassy and East Hope Anti-Communism Autonomous Council today received an invitation to send a delegation of our troops to the regular troop exercises of the host country. This could give us the opportunity to better understand the forces and the doctrines of the East Hope Anti-Communism Autonomous Council, either for future cooperation, but also for other objectives. So I have no idea what this place even is. So before we get to that, because I'm going to need to look up where on earth the East Hope Anti-Communism Autonomous Council is. Delegations from Britain, France, Italy, Japan and the US met in December of 1935 to discuss a renewal of the First London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and the size of cruisers and submarines. Negotiations turned quite heated over Italy's war in Ethiopia and Japan's desire to be seen as equal to Britain and the US. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on limits to limit the size of battleships and aircraft carriers in the hopes of preventing another ruinous arms race. Why would they restrict themselves like this? Why indeed. Alright. The F button apparently doesn't work, so this is the East Hope Anti-Communism. And there it is. It's in China. Oh, it's the buffer between Manchuria and China. Well, I would say that this is definitely a good place to understand a little bit more about. So sure, do it. We also have another agent, which we are going to hire. Oh, hello, Felix Reichmann. Seducer, well-groomed and escape artist. Reichmann it is, and we are going to send you to Argentina. For reasons. Why am I punishing myself with this mod? I enjoy it. I liked Hearts of Iron 3. And in some ways I do feel like Hearts of Iron 4 went over the top in the oversimplification. I mean, sure, this one probably does a couple of things which are ridiculously in-depth, like the equipment uses are probably a little bit too over the top. But I just like the extra detail. I like the flavour. I like the tech tree. The tech tree is cool. And the focuses. The focuses have, I think, already a lot more interesting choices to make. Mod has some interesting features, but it's pure eye cancer. I disagree with that. I think they've done a really good job with the graphics in this. I prefer the aesthetics to this right now to vanilla. Is Mordred already planning his escape to Argentina after the Allies defeat him? It's never too late to have a backup plan. You should always have an exit strategy. The summer heatwave was one of the most severe heatwaves in the modern history of North America. It took place in the middle of the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, and caused catastrophic human suffering and an enormous economic toll. The death toll exceeded 5,000, and huge numbers of crops were destroyed by the heat and the lack of moisture. Many state and city Many states and cities record high temperatures set during this heat wave stood until the... Oh no, that is singular. Many states and cities record high temperatures set during this heat wave stood until the summer of 2012 North American heat wave. 1936 heat wave followed one of the coldest winters on record. Oh dear. Oh. Apparently no longer producing out-of-date stuff. So I would guess that the last of the old submarines was just completed. Yes, it seems that way. Meanwhile, how's this looking? So we've got 4 restorers. So... Wait, is that doubled now? Or is that just a misprint? I have a feeling that Old Guard might be truly disgusting at this point. And we apparently have a lot of very good sea wolves. Oh wow, Durnitz is not just a sea wolf, he is a seasoned sea wolf. Oh, he's even veteran? Oh heck yeah. Oh man, cruiser captain still... No, wait, no it's not. I think that cruiser captain's now locked behind fleet protector or fly swatter, which is a much better change. And blockade runner leads to any of these. So you can go blockade runner, concealment expert, smokescreen. Yeah, I like these changes. They're good. I'm getting way too excited about the traits. They are one of my favourite things about Heart of Iron 4. I really like the trait system. And how you can like get experience in certain traits and then based on your actual actions basically determines how you develop. I just wish there was a bit more to the development. Helfrich is... a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary. Unfortunately, they're both submarine officers. They would never see each other. Well, the submarine fantasies are coming true now. Should have had Durnitz in the Greece multiplayer game. Did anyone actually notice during the Grand Campaign game last week I named all of my submarines the Greek Auxiliary subs? Like that class of submarines, the Greek Auxiliaries. Because they were tier 3s. I thought it was a nice touch. Right, so it doesn't look like fleet organization has changed at all. Because they've added so many more sea wolves, I was kind of wondering if they'd reduce the capacity, perhaps. Or, like, added modifiers to how big these fleets could be, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Now, Zestora, what's the deal behind you? You are very much a screen. With a... Oh no, you do have... sonar. Question. What's our sonar tech like? And where would I see that? Was that under electronic warfare now? That's fire control. I'm not seeing sonar. Here's depth charges. Which are actually up to date. Next one's not until 1940. Interestingly, the depth charge thrower is 41, not 40. I'm guessing it's under electronics. Was it right next to the destroyer? Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yes, in fact we do have completely up-to-date sonar, which I'm not sure is historically accurate for Germany, but it might have been. In which case... Alright, here's the thing. I'm going to save the game here because I'm about to press a button which I've never pressed before. Because it's new! You can click on this and then get access to historically accurate ships. So if we wanted, for example, to unlock the Bismarck, we need to have researched and improved fire control and have 13 naval experience. Then that would create a free extra variant, which is the Bismarck, which you can then build. Should be noted that destroyers are not one of them. So we should probably just go ahead and create a new variant of the Zastora, which we basically strip the mines off of. We strip the torpedoes off of. Oh, you can change their range. Ooh, okay. Oh, that increases speed. These ships are freaking fast. Especially stripped down as they are. The only thing is that we probably want to wait until we can get the dual purpose. And then put those on. 1387's a store right now. 16. Yeah, see, we would actually shave off 300 production cost. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. That's another bunch of Zastoras, which I would like. They should really be on the screens. These fleets are actually pretty well set up. Range 5,600. Range 3,060. Range 1,000. So we kind of want to have more light cruisers with these two, because they're, I believe, pocket battleships. Yeah, Panzer ships they are. So these four should not be in this fleet. They kind of do it an injustice. And the screening of this fleet right now is not great. Do we have, just interest, any other cruisers? No. Are we building any other cruisers? No. So what I'd actually like to see is another light cruiser. Or two. We currently have 5, we need 8. So we need another 3 light cruisers. Were light cruisers one of the things that we can add? No. Not until 38. And they're quite expensive. So let's go ahead and build light cruisers. which would be the Nürnberg. Nürnberg. Yeah, that's exactly the setup I want. 3 of them. And get it done before those. Like building the Deutschland class and the Admiral Hipper, not really hugely useful. Or the Scharnhorsts for that matter, until we have more light cruisers to escort them. Because there's no way we're going toe-to-toe with the Royal Navy in close. Absolutely not. All of my naval preparations at the moment are anticipating long-range action. We want to be so far away from British shores that their strike fleets cannot reach us. We are using that excellent doctrine of run the hell away until they can't punch us. For this mod, it would be nice to have multiplayer in the same nation. Oh yeah, undoubtedly. This would be a really interesting one for co-op. For sure. Now, this does mean... Oh, that's a... This is probably a mine cruiser, right? 3,200. What was your range again? 3,300, so you would reduce it very slightly. No, I think I want to build more of the new light cruisers. Type 24s, what do you do? You are mine layers, you are torpedoes, you have no sonar whatsoever. And you would be incredibly cheap to upgrade to be anti-submarine. Although this would use up all of my naval experience, which I'm not convinced I want to do just yet. So what I think I'm going to do for now is put you into a separate fleet. And then just have you drilling, just for the sake of having you drill. The other thing we should do is make Schleswig-Holstein, where we deploy our ships. And the reason for that is so that they don't, you know, appear out here and start drilling on the dangerous bit of Denmark. Because Britain going into the Baltic is still pretty dangerous. Even though we had some absolutely phenomenal and frankly epic naval engagements against Germany in the UK game, as the Dual Republics game. That's not generally where you want to find your navies. It's too easy to naval bomb. I mean, actually an even better place to deploy these would probably be like Königsberg. But Kiel is the historical base for the German fleet, and I think I'm going to abide by that. So we are also going to move all of you to Kiel right now. Which pretty much finishes off my fuel supplies. If you need to drill, drill. Wait, you guys need to drill? Oh shoot, you do as well. Bye bye oil. Alright, I guess we should buy some more oil then. Hey Venezuela, how's it going? Buying 2 more. Oh wow, suddenly this has become a really big sea zone. I like it. For the list of ships you can get with naval experience, can you scroll down or is it just carriers? Good question. No, just those 3. And there's no scroll bar to the right, which is, or to the left, which is where I'd expect it to be. I do like this. Like if I wanted to upgrade my battleships, I could get the Bismarck with just those technologies and naval experience, which is kind of cool.